All right, well, I just got the holes drilled for all of the posts. Now, if you remember, this is the bolt that we're going to be driving to secure and fasten those brackets down to the slab itself. I'm not sure I've got the right bit to be able to drive these efficiently, and I don't feel like hand driving them. So I'm gonna head to the store actually and see what I can't do to make this a little bit more efficient than what I think it's going to be at this point. But anyway, we got all of them done. I think it was, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 something holes that we were able to drive. Piece of cake with that DeWalt hammer driver and the right drill bit. I probably spent more time walking in between each of the posts than I did actually driving the holes. So if you're ever doing that for that type of an application, I'd recommend it. The SDS drill bit that we used was 5/8, 8 inches long, and I set the stop to 5.5 inches so that we're 1/2 inch longer than what this bolt's going to be. But with that said, I think I gotta go head to the store. Oh yeah, and this stuff over here, it snowed this morning. Go figure. All right, good morning. We're back here for hopefully our final attempt to get these brackets anchored down to the concrete slab. So I went to the store this morning. I picked up some Tapcons. I got two different sizes. I got a 1/4 inch diameter with a 2 1/4 inch length, and then I also got a 5/16 inch diameter at 3 inch length. I want to try that longer Tapcon, the one that's 5/16 of an inch. So I have the drill bits for both. Those are going to go in the two small holes. Let me show you here. So we've got the 5/8 inch DeWalt bolt, concrete bolt, and then you've got the Tapcons will go in here and in here. And then so there's 4 for each full bracket. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to drill for the Tapcons. We're going to get an initial anchoring down with the Tapcons, and then I'm going to go back through and I'm going to actually re-drill the holes for those larger bolts. I'm going to make sure that I'm getting through deep enough, and I'm going to actually get all of the I'll get all of like the debris from the drilling out of that, so that we've got a nice clean hole to actually set the bolt into. And I even fired up the generator, so we're gonna use some compressed air and get those cleaned out really good. I don't think it has to be perfect, but I want to make sure that we don't have too much material in there as we're trying to drive the bolt. There needs to be space for everything to be able to go down. So even if we drive or drill the hole deeper, there will be somewhere as it starts to dig in and create the grooves on the side of the hole, it's going to create more debris. So we just have to have enough place for the debris to go so that we can drive these bolts all the way down. All right, so I did a little bit of testing here, have a little bit of a problem, fixable. But this is, let me just go through and show you what we're gonna do to fasten these things down. So this is the DeWalt 5/8 by 5 inch masonry anchor bolt that we're using. And I have this SDS drill bit, the 4-point right there. Yeah, this thing has worked great, but what I did with the hammer drill is I set it to a depth that was only about 1/2 inch deeper. And what I think I'm getting is a lot of sediment in the hole, and I just don't have enough torque in that impact driver to be able to drive this down if the hole is filled up with the sediment. So what I'm going to go back through and do is I'm going to actually drill this about 1/2 inch deeper, and then I'm going to use the compressed air and blow out the hole so that there's nothing in there obstructing it, and I'm able to get these things tightened down really good. So I tested out on the end wall where we're not going to have, I got a lot of the Mandor. I was using that because that's really not holding a ton of weight. So a lot of the weight, a lot of the shear force is going to be supported by the girts, which are going to be held up by the corner post. This is just going to be a 2-ply, 2x6 type of framing, rough opening for the door, so it was a good place to test it out on. So, but before I get to this step, oh, and then here's the socket. I've got a 5/16 socket with the 1/4 inch drive adapter, so I could just put that right into the impact driver. So that's that one. But before I go around and do all of the rest of those with that, I'm going to show you the process for the Tapcons. So this is the Tapcon masonry screw that I'm going to be using. It is a 1/4 inch hex head by 2 1/4 inches in length. And then I've got the Tapcon SDS drill bit that I'm going to be setting probably to a depth of about, I'm going to probably go to like 3 inches, 3 1/4 inches, so about an inch deeper than what the drill, the screw will reach. And then I've got a 5/16, just a socket that I'm using with the 1/4 inch impact driver. And then what I'm going to do after we drill it, we'll blow out the hole and then we'll set these. This has been a piece of cake. I've done a few of these. I'm actually going to go around and do this step first. That'll kind of get the bracket in place, and then I'll go through and I'll drill out and then just set this giant guy. But I think the process is going to work. I just did this front wall here. I got to work my way all the way around the perimeter. It shouldn't take too long now that I got this process set up. Just, changing some bits and changing some sockets will slow me down a little bit, but I'd rather have this done and done right. And I think I just got a little ahead of myself by trying to drill for this guy first and not drilling to the right depth. So I'm going to put this in time lapse so we can see how long it takes. It should only be about a half hour or so to work all the way around. Okay, all the Tapcons are now in, so everything's anchored down. I'm out of daylight. I was hoping I'd be able to make one more pass and go all the way around and get those big anchor bolts set, but I think that's gonna have to be put off here until tomorrow. But that's okay, we got one more day. I think the soonest I'm expecting our lumber package isn't until Friday. So got one more day I can work on this. I'm gonna do a little bit more of like grading, like along here, all of the gravel. I'm trying to see if I can get a couple of gravel drops too. So we've got a smooth transition, something that we could drive a lift on safely without it tipping over. It'll help out with getting the walls up and getting the steel put on and the fascia and everything of that nature. So, all right, we'll wrap it up here for today and more tomorrow.